Hi guys, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan, and we're taking a look at a 1992 Nissan Skyline GTS-T Type M. This one here, bought from auction here in Japan, is going to be exported to the USA, like pretty much all of the other R32s. Now this one's going to be a bit of an interesting video because we get a lot of people asking about the GTS-T Skylines or GTR Skylines that are in the lower price range compared to the average one. A lot of people want to buy cars that are a little bit rough so that they can fix them up themselves. Maybe they don't have the money to get a really good one, or maybe they just don't like having to spend a lot of money on things that they can do themselves to fix up a car. And so to each their own, you can buy a rough one or a good one from auction. It really depends. Now this one here is one on the lower end of the scale, 200,000 kilometers, actually 204,000 kilometers on it. Body is pretty weak. Mechanically it looks to be fairly solid. Needs a couple of little massages and things to make it feel a little bit better, but nothing is broken mechanically on it. Okay, so let's take a look at the vehicle and see how it is. So RB20 DET engine, that's the turbocharged 220 horsepower inline 6-cylinder RB20 engine. Running condition seems to be pretty good. Nothing scary, no rust in the engine bay, and so that's a plus on a high mileage R32. And engine timing belt was changed at 149,072 kilometers in 2011. Holy, can't speak today. Okay, lowering the hood here. Coolant and oil both look to be pretty normal. And I'm working on a Saturday. Here's a Skyline pro tip: if you can't close the hood, then push this back in, and then you'll be able to close it. There we go. See dent on the hood there. So I'm going to go over the auction sheet first, and then we'll go over the condition. This is the information given to us from the auction. So 1992 July built Skyline GTS-T Type M. This is an auction grade 2, which makes it the auction's lowest grade out of all of them. Exterior is E, and exterior is D, interior is E. I think they're a little bit harsh on it. Now here's the thing, and this is probably the most important thing when it comes to buying a low grade Skyline or any car at auction here in Japan, is when you go for a lower grade one, there's a much higher chance that the auction inspector is going to miss something when inspecting the car. And this one, he did miss some rust in the back. It's not terrible, especially with a car that we already knew the paint was really bad on. It's going to need a repaint anyway, and so fixing up that rust is not a huge deal, but it is disappointing to have a miss like that. Anyway, back to the auction sheet here. 204,341 kilometers. It's the first time at auction. In fact, it might be a one-owner vehicle. Has never been smoked in, and so that's a big plus, especially for a Skyline with this high of mileage. Original 5-speed AC, ABS, power steering, power windows. No other sales points on here. And the auction review says the exterior has some paint fade on it. And here's a weird comment. We don't see this one very often. The exterior has paint contamination in the form of overspray or powder or steel powder. It's a weird translation, but generally it means like contamination in the paint. Let me show you what this one has, because it's a little bit weird. Basically, from about the doors back on both sides, there's speckles of white paint on the car, and you'll see a lot of them here on the back. They're really bad on the back there, and then they get progressively less bad as you go forward. It's crazy. Looks like somebody painted something and then didn't care to cover up the cars that are nearby. Pretty weird. But you should be able to polish all of this off because it's a substance on top of the clear coat. And so if you don't want to give this car a paint job, which it really kind of needs, then you can just get rid of all of that steel powder by giving it a polish. Okay, back to the auction sheet here. It says AC doesn't work, and so I did test it. The fan works. The compressor turns on. It's just not cold. And then in the interior, the dashboard, underneath the dashboard, has like electronic baffles, and they make a weird sound when you turn it on or off. It goes, and I got a video of that to go along with the report here. Okay, engine oil leak. I couldn't find an oil leak, but there is a little bit of spilled oil at the oil filler that kind of looks like it's a valve cover gasket. It may be, it may not be, don't know. Exterior has various scratches on it in several places. Steering wheel grip needs to be replaced, and you'll see that when we go inside, but here's your preview. It's pretty terrible. Headliner is dirty, seat ripped medium, seat saggy. Interior liner is ripped and comes off a little bit. Door card is saggy, rear spoiler is paint peeling, and then looking at the body diagram here, if you don't know what all of these mean, then check out our website, there's a key to that on there, but P3 is large paint damage, medium paint damage on the hood and the trunk, medium dent, that's one I already showed you, some really bad paint on this fender, and then a really large scratch and dent over here, large scratch here, bad paint on the side skirt, bad paint, big dent in the back corner. Excuse me. And so the body condition is rather weak, especially the paint. So let's do the once around here. And I turned the fog lights on because I wanted you to notice them. They're kind of a rare fog light for the Skyline. They have 3 different versions of the fog lights. One of them in the headlight and then 2 of them in the front bumper. So kind of neat. What's neat about this is we get a car with no aftermarket parts on it at all. That's the original exhaust, wheels, and suspension. So that's cool. I think it's cooler to have the aftermarket parts. But having the original ones means that probably nobody was out in the mountains racing this car here in Japan. And it generally means is a chassis that's in better condition, but after 200,000 kilometers, it's already had a little bit of a life. The car doesn't feel bad though. The power steering feels great. The suspension feels normal. The clutch feels good. Okay, so let's go take a look at some damages, and there are quite a few of them. So here's the peeling paint on the front fender. Absolutely will need a repaint. That can't be fixed. Got a scuff here with something yellow, and it was not my company car, thank goodness. Some damage here as well that has been repaired. A pro box coming to run me over. Okay, the weird paint problem. Paint peeling here. Something weird with the power window. That's strange, like a rip in there. This part's cracked. Roof P3, and you can see it there. Some scratches too on it, which is a little bit weird. Some pretty heavy scratches here. That's probably the A4 that was on the sheet. Here's the, I think it was a B3 in the back corner. Or B2 maybe. Here and here with some fade here. Speckly stuff here. Lots of scrapes here. This side is pretty good, but it has a large dent right here. Okay, and then a few small dents here, here, and here. Got the other video specifically for the side panel, so if you want to see that, check the other section of the report. Okay, and then the thing that was missed that I was talking about is both sides have a little bit of rust around the rear wheel wells, here and down here. And it's small and it's repairable in the state that it's in now without too much hassle. But if I were the auction inspector, I would feel very embarrassed about missing something like this. Pretty uncommon for them to miss something, but when the car is a grade 2 or a grade 3 or has high mileage or is really old, there are just so many things to go over that they're inevitably going to miss something. Well, not, let me rephrase that. It's not inevitable, but higher chance. Okay, so this liner here on the back, this is a common problem on the Skylines. I've seen it on maybe about 15% of the ones. And it's on both sides there. That's the interior liner coming up, what it says in the auction sheet. Look at this, Kenwood Aeromorphic. I think they're making up words. Okay, door liners are pretty good. Speaker covers are dented from too many kicks. The one on the passenger side is peeling, but not a problem at all, really. Here's the steering wheel that needs to be replaced. You can see heavy peel on it. It's the original steering wheel, original seats, and then it said a medium rip on the seat. I would argue that's probably considered a large rip. The seat frame is visible there. You don't notice it when you're sitting in it, other than the fact that these are pinched fairly heavily. I don't know if the seat broke or something. You can pinch the seat with this little knobby thing here, and you can choose the amount of like a side pinch. Like these ones come in and out. Who's calling me? I don't know. Someone in Japan. Can't take your phone call. Okay, so 204,345 kilometers at the time of this video. A dashboard with remarkably clean, non-bubbly dash. Very uncommon. Worth probably about a fifth of, like this dashboard is worth about a fifth of what we paid for the car, I bet. Okay, tape deck and equalizer. And AC. Hasn't been smoked in, very cool. Lots of wear on the e-brake handle and the shift knob. Floor mats are in the trunk. I don't know why they're in the trunk, but then the one for the driver has some weird discoloration in it. I guess I'll show you because I have you now. See? Discoloration. It's like somebody put bleach on their shoes and then stomped around. CD changer in there. Everything looks tidy. Whoa, let's go in. So we got the fog lights. These are the headlight fog light version, and then the special ones are here. They're version 2 and version 1. You get to pick which version of them. Got a turbo timer here. And that's about it for the inside of the vehicle. Regular oil pressure there. Let's see what those fog lights look like when we're on version 1. Ah, cool. Kind of weird that they would have so many fog lights on the car, but it is cool that you can kind of pick, you want the outside ones or the inside ones. And you know, Nissan's going to have a reason for that. And they're Bosch fog lights too. So probably like one of them is for use in a certain type of fog or whatever, something like that. Anyway, that'll be the end of the video here. Hope you enjoyed looking at this one. I hope this one's interesting for people because this is probably the top type of vehicle people want, is a Skyline within the price range of about what this one cost. So pretty interesting, and we'll put any video up onto the channel no matter the condition, because that's the reality of what people purchase. So if you buy it, we'll put it on as long as we have permission to. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, post them in the comments section, and check out our website. There's a link to that in the description. It was made in 2007, and so it's now 10 years old, and so pretty cool. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Have a nice day.